I didn't have proper protection around me, a roof over my head, things to keep them out, then I was done. Sitting here in this chair, writing in this journal by the firelight. Don't get me wrong, it sounds kind of cozy, but it's raining, journal's getting a little bit soggy, and honestly, my back hurts. Tomorrow, I start building, and it will be my greatest priority until I'm done. Today I actually just relocated my tree platforms to another area, and let me tell you why. I think just the idea of one of those cat thingies climbing a nearby tree and then jumping onto my platform was really getting to me. And unfortunately, this area I had chosen, the visibility was just really low and just not really optimal. I didn't move too far away from the original location. I actually chose a spot right above a lake, or like a lake swamp thingy in the middle of the forest. I also picked some of the taller trees in the area and built closer to the actual branches. That way, if something did decide to climb up and try and jump off, it would be really difficult. Plus, by then, hopefully I would have enough built up so that it couldn't actually do that. And I guess I lied, I didn't spend the whole day doing that. I think the latter half of the day was mostly just starting to reinforce these platforms, but this was going to take just a massive amount of wood. I think it's taken me at least another day's worth of time just to figure out a design I like, but once I figured that out, it's actually not that bad. I like this. Let's just finish up this platform. And there. I think the hardest part about this was trying to make the planks kind of interlace each other, which sounds really weird. It wasn't like weaving, it was more like layering. Doesn't matter though, this effort was worth it because now I'm even more positive this platform can hold weight. Actually, more weight than it originally could. Now I just need some railings on this platform, you know, just to make sure I don't fall off. You know, when the moon's out, the nights are actually really stunning here. I'm glad I moved here. Well, for now. We'll see how it pans out. So I've got a total of about 4 tree platforms up, and if I want to reinforce all of these, it's going to take a lot of time. Fortunately, I have nothing but time. One of those supply drops came down again. It was purple, and it had like a blueprint for a helmet. I think it's like the same stuff that those bugs have, you know, like their shell. I should try making it. Well, not right now, but at some point. Okay, I think that's the second platform done. Now on to the third. The nights were getting a bit cold, so I decided to craft myself a little temporary shelter. You know, put a campfire in there just to keep out the wind. It was far from perfect, but it's what I needed. Okay, that's all the platforms framed out. I have the second one completely done now. Now I just have to fill in the third and fourth platforms. Alright, that's 4 platforms completely reinforced. I wasn't too sure about the design, but from a distance it actually looks really good. Of course, I care more about functionality than, aesthetic, but you know what? I really dig the aesthetic. Right, well now that I've got these kind of foundations of what I want to build on, now I can start adding some bridges in so I can get from one platform to another. This shouldn't take nearly as much wood as the rest, and you know what? I kind of like it. I will say there's a bit of an issue because one platform is quite a bit higher than all the others, and I can't just build a normal bridge because it'd be more like a slide. So maybe if I build some stairs upwards on this platform here and, I don't know, bridge from there? I didn't like this little constricted staircase I was making though. I think it needed to be a bit bigger, especially because I might fall. Alright, my new idea, alright, hear me out. What if I wrapped a staircase around the tree? Yeah, this is looking really good. I'd have to reinforce these supports for sure though, because, you know, at a certain point, if there's high gusts of wind, I need to make sure they hold. I'm not really sure what I want to do with this top area though. I mean, I have this kind of idea that's similar to the bottom where I'm kind of building out ceilings and maybe making the same shape, but I will say the edges to this one are kind of drooping. I'll just keep this idea for now, but it might change later. It's a little too sketchy. There's also all these leaves in the way, so even if I wanted to light up this platform with a torch or something, I feel like that would be a really bad idea. I know I'm not like an ecological genius, but I do know that a lot of forest fires happen where pines are, and well, these are giant pine trees. And now for some more railings. I think the tree platform that I've built this giant staircase on is going to be sort of my storehouse. I've actually accumulated quite a bit of things over the days, and Nike's been carrying all of it. How? I have no idea. She's just super strong like that, but I do need to give her a break. Plus, some organization would go a long way. I don't know, it'd help my brain out. Then I can just put some signs down to mark where I want stuff, and there we go. Now I have a spot for my blueprints. Alright, now let's give this place some light. I'm gonna use tiki torches. Oh yes, yes, that looks good. I'm really feeling the Ewok village vibes now. I also got attacked by this bird thing. I'm just gonna be brutally honest, I think it was more scared of me than I was of it. I feel a little bad, but again, kill or be killed. This whole time, I've been kind of keeping tabs on this armadillo-looking creature below my base. I'm gonna be honest, its spiky tail is a little intimidating, but I don't think Nike really cared either way. Her beak pierced its tough shell, and I mean, it just took some time, but she still had her meal. Now let's set up a frame for a storage area roof thing. I'd really like to keep all of it out of the rain. I'm not thinking anything too complicated, nothing entirely closed in, but definitely a roof. A nice thing about these tiki torches is I can burn a little bit of midnight oil, you know? Get a little bit more done. After all, it's actually been 10 days since I've started building. That's right, I've been on this island for 32 days. And something tells me it's gonna be a long time before I'm done building. Again though, all I have is time. Okay, and that should do it for the roof. And it actually looks really good from a distance. Now, for this other platform, I'd like a whole area dedicated to just crafting stuff, forging, you know, that kind of stuff. I'm gonna go with the exact same layout for a frame that I did with the storage area. This should make it nice and let the breeze through if it needs to come through. I feel like if I have too much wind blockage, then there's a bigger chance things could blow off of the platform, including maybe, if I'm unlucky, an entire house or something. My actual house will be enclosed, but I do want to keep most of this other stuff safe. Oh man, at night, this place really comes alive. It's so pretty. I've also got a simple refinery area on the third platform, so let's get some railing set up so I don't fall here either. There, that looks pretty good. Okay, I think all the other parts are looking pretty good for now. Let's start setting up my actual living area. Now this, I've got some big plans, and I don't know if I'll get carried away making this, but I want it to be really nice. I need it to include somewhere to eat, to cook my food, to sleep, obviously. But most importantly, well, arguably most importantly, I would like an official study. A place I can file away my discoveries, you know, the notes that I find, if I come across anything strange, I'll have places to examine it. Also, it'll be really nice to be able to cross-examine these survivor notes in more detail, because a lot of these timelines seem to be converging. You know, like this General Nerva guy, and Rockwell, and I don't know, even Helena. All of these things are connecting somehow. I just don't know how. Before I can start this really big project though, I think it would be wise to get all of the stuff from my old beach house. When I got there, obviously Patricia would be able to follow me because, you know, she's fast. And Nike could actually hold Tommy in her talons. Tommy didn't seem to mind too much for some reason, but I wouldn't be able to take prongs. He was too big. I'll have to come back and make the journey at some point. For now, I just need to worry about getting all my stuff. Because Nike is such a beast, this actually only took one trip. So I got stuff filed away and I think we're about good to go. I also decided, you know, on a whim that furniture would be nice, and I could try my hand at making that stuff. So why not? I made myself a little station just especially for that purpose. Now, I have a vision, alright? I would like windows. Actual big windows. I kinda schemed a design for a while, which is pretty hard when you don't have an actual table to do it on, but I think the way to go is to actually have a metal frame. Now, while I could just forge the little slots to fit the glass panes in and call it a day, they were gonna rattle a lot, especially with the high winds, so I had a plan to use that cementing paste to be able to just hold it in place firmly. Now, I suppose this poses some flexibility issues, but I guess we'll just have to see. So I did what I knew to do best and went looking for beaver dams, but I got very distracted when I saw this little guy. I knew exactly what to do. Thank you, Helena. I'm so glad I picked up your note. It accepted all of my peace offerings of fish and then eventually started following me around. I think I tamed it, guys. But then I found another one. This one actually looked a little bit tougher. Not meaner, but just tougher, stronger. It also eagerly accepted every single gift of fish I brought to it, and now I have 2 otters. I think my implant is telling me that one is a boy and another's a girl, so I'm gonna name the boy Oliver and the girl Olivia. I have little cuddle buddies. Oh, this is so exciting! Okay, I may have gotten distracted with the otters, but I got distracted again while finding beaver dams this time, because I found an actual beaver. Now, it seemed like every couple of days when I'd go check, a new beaver dam would arise, and this meant that these guys were really efficient, so I had a crazy idea. If this thing could be tamed, then it could probably get me a crazy amount of wood, which I needed very badly. I made sure I was on high ground where it couldn't reach me and tranked it out. I stayed really close by though, because it seemed to be a light sleeper. No matter though, it tamed up all the same. It's kind of hard to think of a name for this guy, so I guess I'll just mull it over in my head for a while I take it back home. It might be a face that only a mother could love, but honestly, I put in the work. I think he's beautiful. Now there was just 2 more things I was missing in order to make windows. Metal and, well, glass. Now, I know glass is usually made out of sand, but don't forget, I made a cool little spyglass out of just a little bit of this crystal. It could be shaped into a viewing apparatus. With this in mind, I would need a ton of crystals so I could, you know, melt it together and make sheets of it, but I am more than convinced it will make a firm and sturdy window. Maybe firmer than normal glass, actually. Of course, all this metal is going to take quite a bit of time to refine, but you know what? I'm just going to kick back and relax for a little bit. I put down a lot of little forges to all refine the metal at once, so it won't take nearly as long as it would have back at the beach. I'm really making a lot of progress. I think about now I've been on this island for 5 weeks and 2 days, right? 37 days? Yeah, that's 5 weeks and 2 days. The past 2 weeks have just flown by. As it turns out, I've completely underestimated the amount of crystal I'll need for the amount of windows I want to make. The mountains nearest to my tree home were pretty scarce, and I think I got all of the crystal over there, unfortunately. So I set off to the next nearest mountain, the volcano-looking thing. It probably was a volcano. This is when I was attacked by another one of those red glowing creatures. This one was like a raptor of sorts, and man, it was a fight. I think because Nike had the advantage of the sky, we eventually managed to kill it. Upon killing it, I got a really nice set of gloves. I don't know how I got these, but I wouldn't complain. I was definitely gonna wear them. So I found no crystal around the outsides of the volcano, unfortunately, but then I saw a little path leading to what looked like the top, and as I followed it, it got really warm. But I soon found out that this path wasn't actually going to the top. Down on a platform near the lava, there's this technological looking thing, and oh man, I did not like it. It made me really uncomfortable. I just collected my crystal and got out of there, but I knew this was gonna eat up my thoughts. What the heck was that? Some kind of, I don't know, access point? I would have to worry about the mystery of it later. As of now, I still didn't have a study. What I did have, though, was plenty of glass. Alright, these walls are looking really good. I added some stone wall supports just to help out the windows a little bit. Overall, it looked really nice. I needed more wood, so now it was time to bring out the beaver. I named her Bex, by the way. I liked it. It just seemed fitting. My hunch was right, by the way. Bex got me so much more wood than I was getting by hand. This was a good tame. Now it's time to give this place a ceiling. Keep out the elements. Oh yeah, that's really nice. Okay, now that that's done, I think I'd like to divide up the inside of this place with walls. I think my plan right now is to have dedicated areas for all sorts of different things. You know, like a lounge area, a bedroom, a study, of course, a kitchen, and a dining room. Okay, now that I have the rooms kind of divided out, it's time to start setting up the furniture. This might take some more time because I don't actually know how to build furniture, but I'm sure my implant can help me out. It's given me some decent ideas, or at least only for a bed and a couch. I'd have to kind of wing it for the rest. Well, and that's how I got to where I am now. My new fortress. My new, cozy, safe fortress. I can now just stand behind the glass and observe everything on the outside without the fear of something jumping on me. I also have plenty of shelves, because I'm sure there are a lot more notes out there, and honestly notes of my own. I know Helena was interested in the obelisks. I'm near positive that Rockwell was too, and, well, anybody that would live here. There's plenty more to learn, and I'm gonna learn it, if I can. But now, thanks to my efforts, I'm in a good place to study it. The building overall has taken me 3 weeks. Let's see, if I leaf back in my journal here, I started building on day 23. It is now day 42, so yeah, 3 weeks. Boy howdy. I think back home, this kind of thing would take so much longer to build, especially with one guy. This implant in my arm, how cool is it? I am growing more fond of it every single day. Taming the beavers got me thinking too. I mean, what if there are other animals with other uses? I'm sure there are. And honestly, everything I've tried to tame so far has been tamed. Well, actually, I completely forgot that I have a crocodile to go check up on. So, I don't know, maybe not everything. I haven't been anywhere around that thing, so who knows if it's tamed. It's probably alive and walking around, but I don't know if it'll actually like me that much. Although I will say, in the unlikely circumstance in which this crocodile is actually tamed in my absence, that proves that something about this island is incredibly unnatural. It will be my first proof, besides these obelisks and the weird door thing I saw in the volcano. For now though, I'm gonna take some time and just rest inside my new luxury treehouse. I think I've earned it. Then, after that, back to work. I will get to the bottom of this place. I will. Mark my words.